Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And it's time for the AEW All-In 2023 star ratings from Steve and Larson. That's right. We are on the road to usurping, unseating one Dave Meltzer and his star ratings that everybody pays attention to and everybody cares about and everybody thinks is the end-all be-all. Nah. Steve and Larson want to be the end-all be-all.
Well, here's the thing. You got to wait till Dave's till Friday. We get ours out the next day.
Early.
Why do you make people wait, Dave?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Why do you think it's okay to make people wait? No. We are all about the people, and they want their stars right now.
Now, let's give the people what they want, Steve. Let's start with 0 hour opening bout. Aussie Open defending the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships against Adam Cole, Bebe, MJF. How many stars did you give this particular bout?
Oh, man. 3 stars. I thought it was fine. It was short, I'm never a fan of when a well-established tag team can't keep their shit together against 2 randos who were thrown together. This was to service one, I think, kind of relatively minor story beat in the main event, and that is MJF and Adam Cole having the titles, the Ring of Honor titles. I thought it did sort of a disservice to Aussie Open, but whatever, they're a young tag team, and so, but yeah, it was like an 8-minute match. What does it matter? I gave it 3 stars. It was fine.
It was serviceable.
It had a kangaroo kick.
Yeah, it was serviceable. It achieved the story they were trying to tell at the expense of Aussie Open. That's 100% the case. I gave it 3 stars as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know that the double clothesline is a thing. They've gotten over a relatively mundane move that probably hasn't won a wrestling match in 60 years.
Right, yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
These are your Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. These are Aussie Open is an up-and-coming team who's established themselves around the world as one of the best tag teams in the world, and they're losing to a gimmicky move.
Yeah, right.
3 stars.
Yeah, no, I agree. Next, in the 0 hours, we had Jungle Boy, Real Glass, Crimea River, Jack Perry versus Hook for the FTW title. FTW rules. This was going all over the place. Larson, how many stars did you give this match?
So again, a serviceable match. There were some fun bits. The stuff with the limo was really good, if not painful to watch. But again, I don't really feel like it ever really went above good and serviceable. You know, for the vast majority of this bout, Jack Perry was kind of doing whatever he wanted. And then Hook at the end hits a couple moves, puts on Red Rub and wins. I gave it 3 1/4. It was fine, but I didn't really feel like it really at any point elevated beyond pretty good and fine.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly with you as well. 3 1/4. I'm really curious to see how the rest of this card's going to play out between you and I. I gave it 3 1/4 as well for everything you said. I thought it was better than the opener. But not by much.
Nope.
So I mean, this could have been like a decent Dynamite top of the second hour, match.
Well, here's the thing.
Was what it was.
Here's the thing. If this was a top of the hour Dynamite match, it would have gotten more time. It would have gotten 12 minutes.
That's totally true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, absolutely.
But they wouldn't have had the limo though. That was the spectacle pay-per-view entrance.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal. Yeah, the limo.
That was like half the match. Anyways, let's move on to the main card. All In. Show opened up with Samoa Joe taking on fresh from a backstage altercation CM Punk.
Come here, kid.
Apparently, no fisticuffs, just chokeholds.
Kid. And a noogie, hopefully a noogie.
Oh, maybe. Wet his pinky and gave him a wet willy.
There you go.
Anyway, Steve, what'd you give this match? Let's see if we're still on the same page here.
Dude, I really love this match. I thought it was phenomenal. I personally, to be honest with you, I really enjoy CM Punk's work in the ring these days. The whole Hogan Cena thing, really playing with the crowd. The crowd seemed to be fairly split. On one hand, they were singing a song. It's difficult not to sing Cult of Personality. On the other hand, they were booing him. We got that great spot with Samoa Joe running, ramming him, swinging him into the announce table. It was bloody. CM Punk looked like a fool half this match, which, again, I appreciated. And then he won. I know the ending was a bit anticlimactic to the crowd. I'm a fan of the Avalanche pedigree, the Pepsi plunge. I think that move was pretty rad, and that's how he won. I was cool with it. I liked this match. I give it 4 1/4.
4 1/4. All right, we're going to differ then, Steve.
Uh-oh.
I don't really disagree with anything you said, but for me to give this match 4 1/4, Joe had to win.
Probably would have gone 5 for that one, man.
There we go. A really good bout. As a viewer on television, I didn't mind the Pepsi plunge, but after the finish with Pepsi plunge, everybody seemed confused in live, and that kind of took the momentum out of the end of the match. Where it happens, the crowd's like, "Is that how the match is supposed to end?"
What was that? A pedigree from the top?
Where's the GTS? Where's the Anaconda Vice? I gave it 3 3/4. Really good match.
Okay.
Again, if anything more than 4, in my opinion, Joe would have had to win. So he did. So
fair enough.
I can't give it more than 4 stars. Or 4 stars or more.
Let's...
Next up, Golden Elite taking on the team of Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, Rock Hard, Juice Robinson, and Takeshita. You went first last time, right? Go ahead. You go first. I've lost track of everything.
I thought this match was totally fine. It was obviously used to set up the all-out match between Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita. There was a lot of fun stuff. They really didn't make all that much use of Kota Ibushi. They obviously referenced because Jay White, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega, those guys all have a ton of history going back to New Japan. But even that really didn't seem to be played up like too much. I mean, they went at it, but you know, this was all, like we've said, serviceable, really good stuff. It's rare that you're going to get anything but a really good match out of the names involved here. I gave it 3 3/4. I thought the ending, the roll-up finish, came out of nowhere. And again, this match was simply used to set up what's happening next between Kenny and Konosuke Takeshita. And you know, for that, I can't give this 4 stars because it's just a stepping stone match. So 3 3/4.
Yeah, I gave it 3.5, not too far off from you. I'm in agreement with everything you said. The finish, in fact, kind of deflated the crowd a bit. You know, but it did come a bit out of nowhere, and it was in the service of a match that's going to happen next Sunday. But I appreciate at this show they didn't view this as kind of like an exhibition where we're going to have all the fan favorites go over so we pop the crowd. They were endeavoring to continue the stories they have been telling.
Yeah.
So I gave it 3.5. Fun match, totally serviceable. You're going to hear that word a lot, serviceable, for the show. Good stuff, but never really elevated to great. Let's talk about a match that did elevate to great. For the AEW Tag Team Championships, FTR successfully defended against the Young Bucks. Now, I feel like I need to go back and watch their previous 2 bouts to see exactly how this one stacks up. Mm-hmm. You know, the prior 2 ones were exceptional, awesome bouts. And this one was no different. But for some reason, I feel like this one didn't quite hit the same heights as the previous 2. And that's not a knock, because this was really good. The other 2 were just like all-time tag matches. The finish was awesome, executed perfectly. And with the post-match angle where the Young Bucks, upset they lost, opens the door for future bouts, which I'm sure are going to happen at some point. I gave it 4 3/4, not quite 5 stars.
Okay. I want the extra length. I gave it 5 stars. I thought this was an absolutely thrilling match. Again, I'd have to go back and look at the other ones. I feel like was one of their first matches where they were like doing all the other tag team moves throughout history.
I believe.
I thought that was, I remember thinking that was gimmicky at the time, and I know that was an unpopular opinion because people love that stuff, if I recall correctly. I'd put this one over that one because you're FTR and the Young Bucks. You focus on your own stuff, and that's what they were doing. The Young Bucks were hitting stuff that FTR usually hits. FTR was doing the flips and stuff. I thought this was really, really phenomenal storytelling. I love that these guys are able to put aside. It says something to me that the Young Bucks are like, hey, I don't care that you're best friends with a guy that legally we're not going to talk to. We're going to go out there and honor you guys, put you guys over, and show everybody that we are the best 2 tag teams. Mm-hmm. And this match for me did exactly that. I'd have to go back and review or analyze what my top, sort of score, what my meter goes to. But this was kind of towards the top of that. So I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was really good.
It was really, really good. Let's move on to Stadium Stampede. Had Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Penta, and Eddie taking on Blackpool Combat Club, Santana, and Ortiz. Steve, what'd you give this one?
So this was a mess, and it was fun, but oddly inconsequential. It was just like spot. Like Trent gets beat up. Everybody bleeds. We had the skewers. Pentagon looked like he was out because of an injury. He comes back in all red, and that's supposed to be a thing. Eddie sort of, Eddie's never going to be able to properly recreate his gas tank spot from like one of the earlier ones. I thought it was fine. I gave it 3.25 because, like, I don't know, it was silliness. It was a lot of fun, but in the end, like, what does it really matter? Like, this doesn't really do anything, I guess, except motivate Mox versus Orange Cassidy, which does it really?
No, it really doesn't. That's why I feel like, I gave it 3.5 because it was fun. It was chaotic, mayhem all over the place, and there were some fun spots, but I didn't necessarily feel like it advanced the stories they were necessarily trying to tell. They're trying to motivate Orange versus Mox, and they got there anyways because Tony Khan just made the match. But you'd have thought if Mox had played more of a hand in the finish, that would have directly motivated it. You have Orange Cassidy pinning Claudio, which Claudio's not going to be challenging for that international title at All Out. It's Mox.
Right.
And I understand that you had Mox and Eddie, going through that table there towards the finish.
At this point also, and I don't mean to sound like a fuddy-duddy, but like the Sue stuff is kind of played out for me. She shows up in a van with the cookie sheet. Okay, it's real cute, but it's like I'm kind of done with that kind of stuff. I did appreciate, like, at the end there was that great shot of the best friends walking away like it was an action movie or something.
Yeah.
And they're all bloody and they've won the day. And I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, it didn't really elevate beyond, like, it wasn't better than like the parking lot brawl that similar, components did ages ago during COVID. So yeah, I thought it was fine, but like it was sort of meaningless and beyond a couple of chuckles here and there. It really didn't. And the production's always a mess with these.
It always is.
Anyways.
I mean, it's tough to get every spot with a match as chaotic as that. Let's talk about the AEW Women's title match. Sorry. Hikaru Shida defending against Toni Storm, Saraya, and Britt Baker. I liked a lot of this match. I liked all of it, in fact. I just wish there was more of it.
Yeah.
Under 9 minutes for a title match, it's not enough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really creative spots. I think we all anticipated the story of Saraya and Toni Storm, the tension there kind of overblowing and them coming to blows. I didn't anticipate Toni Storm inadvertently hitting Saraya's mom, though, sitting ringside. Yeah, and the fact that was really kind of instigating incident for Saraya to be like, no, Toni, I'm done with you. I did not see coming. I just wish they give this match more time. A lot of really good creative stuff here. I gave it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm not far off. I gave it 3.25 because they only gave him half a match. Like, this should have gone 20 minutes, and they didn't even give it 9.
Yeah.
You have 4 competitors in there, 2 of which really weren't even involved in any part of the story here. It was Saraya and Toni Storm. And I'm like, I understand. It's like you're putting Britt and Hikaru Shida. Shida's the champion, so you have to. You put Britt in there because you got one-on-one one of the outcasts, and then they got to go at each other. But like they gave this, like, they could have told so many more stories within this match and really elevated the moment where Saraya wins in her hometown, and Tony Khan just doesn't give that attention. No. He doesn't give that service to the women's division, and he said as such in his post-show press conference. So unfortunately, with only half a match to go off of, I liked pretty much everything I saw, but it was half a match. I gave it 3.25.
Yeah, and seeing how the match was booked, it's even more head-scratching why they didn't have Ruby Soho in the match itself.
Yeah, I agree.
If the story is the Outcast falling apart, then have all 3 members of the Outcast in the match.
Yeah.
Next up, coffin match. Swerve and Christian taking on Sting and Darby Allin. Steve, what'd you give this one?
I loved this match. I thought it was tons of fun. Sting at 64 years old or however old he is, just going all out. Like, he couldn't get through the table on the first one. He made sure to get it through on the second one. Darby Allin with the crazy spots. I thought everybody did a phenomenal job in this match. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was nothing but fun.
It was a lot of fun. I gave it 3.75. I thought it would have been kind of fitting for Nick Wayne to lead to the end of the match and have him be the one, whether directly or indirectly, have put Christian in the coffin, given what Christian said to him during that promo bit recently. I thought that would have been some pretty effective storytelling. Maybe they didn't want Christian to take another loss at the hands of Darby, given that he already lost to him on Collision. That's the only kind of misfire in my mind. Otherwise, 3.75 is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a really fun match.
Next up, Will Ospreay taking on Chris Jericho. You know, I guess I gotta give it to Jericho. I was worried how well he'd be able to keep up with Will Ospreay, and for the most part, he did fine.
He did, yeah.
A really good match. It was really booked like a pay-per-view main event quality bout with the kickouts of the finishers and whatnot. You know, I don't know if Ospreay at this point in his career can have a bad match. He seemed like a good match of just about basically everybody. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really good.
I went like a little bit higher. I went 4.25. I loved this match. I thought Jericho brings so much story to everything he does. And that's one thing I will always appreciate about Chris Jericho. He always brings the story. I thought it was a really clever way for him to get out of taking the hidden blade from behind was to do this and give him the old middle finger. Probably should have given him 2 up like this. But no, I thought, you know, Sammy getting involved, Callis down there, but it wasn't overbooked. It wasn't a mess. It was just really, really good storytelling. Again, like you said, pay-per-view level quality. I love when they're in front of 80,000 people and they're like kicking out of each other's finishers. I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. 4.25.
All right. Next up, Trios title match. House of Black defending against the Acclaimed and badass Billy Gunn. The only difference really was a t-shirt.
Billy Gunn.
He said t-shirt had badass on it rather than an Acclaimed t-shirt on it. Or Acclaimed logo on it. What'd you give this one, Steve?
Once again, that word pops up, serviceable. I thought it was fine. I thought they did a lot of cool stuff. It was great to see Billy Gunn back with the Acclaim. They did the big scissor bit at at the end of this. House of Black had some next level gear. The Bray Wyatt shout out. I thought it was fine. I thought I gave it 3.5 stars. Thought it was a fine match. Nothing really to complain about, but also like not that. It was sort of a foregone conclusion. Like at no point did I ever think that the Acclaimed weren't going to win these titles.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. 3.5 stars. Exact same score as well. I mean, they told Billy's story where, you know, he was so upset and down in the dumps about losing that he came back and kicked out of a finisher and helped lead the Acclaimed to victory. They told that story effectively. And yeah, everything else you mentioned, I'm in complete agreement with. 3.5 stars. Main event time, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
For the
MJF
AEW
versus Adam Cole, baby.
World Championship. You go first. I'm curious to see what you have to say about this one.
So, I loved everything about this match. I stopped short of giving it 5 stars. I give it 4.75.
Ooh.
And I think the reason why I gave this one 4.75 and because I loved this match. I thought this bucked every expectation I had and exceeded every expectation I had. The character work in this match was off the charts great. I think the only reason I didn't give this 5 stars compared to the other match on this thing that I gave 5 stars, FTR versus Young Bucks, is because FTR Young Bucks was almost exclusively told through wrestling in the ring, and there's something really special about that. This match here didn't get 5 stars because so much of it was told with acting, dialogue, and like Roderick Strong coming down and moments like with the title and stuff, which I don't necessarily, you know, it's not a bad thing. 4.75 is still really, really good.
Yeah.
But I sort of delineate, there's sort of a difference there. I thought it was great, man. I thought it gave the Wembley crowd really what they wanted by the end, which was to see these two guys be on the same page at the same time and yet see all the conflict within about wanting that title so bad. So yeah, I loved it. I gave it 4.75. I thought it was a really good match.
I gave it 4.5. Not too far off from you. You can't quibble with the character work in this bout. Some really effective stuff, you know, and they did just about everything imaginable to tease Adam Cole turning, except having him turn.
Yeah,
just
right.
at that final moment when he has that belt in his hand, he can't bring himself to go that far to win the title. He basically
we were there to witness his actual decision, and we didn't know going into it.
Exactly. Because he at every other turn he was willing to go the extra length to win when MJF wasn't.
Yeah.
And at that final moment, kind of the moment of truth, when he hit him with the title, he would have won. Couldn't bring himself to do it. I like Roderick Strong when he's goofy and over the top is tons of fun. I thought his involvement was fun. The perhaps the most effective thing about this match is that it leaves you wanting more. Now you want to know where the story's going. We thought we had it all laid out. Adam Cole's going to turn. He's going to be champion. Didn't happen. What's going to happen next? How much longer are they going to be able to stay friends without that title coming in between them?
Mm-hmm.
In that sense, masterfully done. There was the fun bit where they were throwing the chair back and forth, trying to do the Eddie Guerrero spot. A lot of really good creative stuff. But yeah, I understand your perspective about so much of the story being told through character work as opposed to in-ring in terms of the actual wrestling. I guess that's probably why I landed on 4.5 stars rather than something higher. But a really fun main event, and based on the reception, left the crowd happy. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. Anyways, hey, drop your star ratings in the comments below. Maybe you can be the new wrestling observer like Larson and I are endeavoring to be.
Hey, man, I feel like if it takes consistency, you got to do this every week, and you got to get people talking about your numbers and your star ratings.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like anybody can be a wrestling observer.
Anybody can be a wrestling observer, but more importantly, do it as soon as possible.
Yes, that's
Don't
the
wait
key.
until the next Friday.
That's the key.
Anyways, that's going to do it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.